last topic of the episode. The NFL is partnering with the XFL. So the NFL and XFL have reached a partnership agreement that will focus on creating innovation programs and protecting the health of players. The XFL announced Monday will not include player sharing for developmental purposes. It's launching in February 2023. The NFL will experiment with new rules, equipment, prospective officials, and coaches. And the owner of the XFL told ESPN that the partnership with the NFL isn't intended to put the XFL in position as a developmental league. Said they are a spring league, and that's that. So what are your thoughts on this partnership? What do you think about it?
The XFL wasn't always the most exciting thing to watch, but they did have some really cool rules and, different innovating things. And I think the number one thing the NFL is going to take away is the kickoff. I think what the XFL was able to do, I forgot the exact rules. I think no one's able to move on either side of the ball, but
the exact rules are that the kickoff for team, the kickoff team and return.
Yeah.
The kickoff team lines up at the 30-yard line. The return team lines up at the 35. They're 5 yards apart, basically, and they cannot start moving until the return man touches the ball or the ball bounces for like 3 seconds.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing some stat where like the injuries on kickoffs were like nothing, and that's one of the biggest things the NFL has changed over the last few years. But because of that, we've seen so many more like touchbacks and not as much exciting moments. But I think the number one thing is going to be kickoffs. I could see them implementing that pretty soon, be able to take down the injuries while still having kick returns, which the fans want to see. And the NFL sometimes could be slow to changing rules, but I feel like when they change rules, it usually works out.
And now, question, do you guys think that this will be like a G League for the NFL?
He just said no, right?
No, you don't think so?
XFL said they aren't going to be developmental.
It's funny, the NFL is the biggest league, and they're the only league that doesn't have any sort of developmental league.
But that's why I say that. Like, you don't think that at an event? That's my real question. Do you think that it'll lead to that?
I don't think the XFL will ever be a developmental league for the NFL, but that does not mean that players can't go to the NFL.
Yeah. PJ Walker.
But I don't think the XFL is going to allow itself to be used as the NFL's training camp. That's what I'm kind of. The NFL's practice squad. I'm guessing.
I'll be honest. That seems enticing to me as a fan. I'm seeing these players that have the caliber to go to the NFL.
I feel like players kind of feel the same way.
The XFL wants to have its own thing.
It just sucks because like you're never gonna get like the top court. Like it's never gonna be as interesting because the quarterbacks aren't gonna be as good. The receiver, like you're gonna be used to NFL Sunday seeing the top of the top compared to
that's true. But
XFL.
I mean, when I watched XFL, I had a blast watching PJ Walker.
And it's different wants and needs as a player playing in the XFL towards or as opposed to the NFL. As an NFL quarterback, what you want and what you I guess more so what you want. You want the legacy. You want to be remembered for the history of the game because of how historic the NFL is with all the greats that have come into this league and left their mark. The XFL, unless you're trying to make the XFL a global type thing, is going to be hard to ever really leave your mark on something like that.
The Rock is the owner now, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he's like a owner with other people. But when he was at the Super Bowl, I kind of already knew this was coming. I was in my class and like my PR class, and I was like, The Rock being there tells me the XFL and the NFL are probably going to get into a partnership. And voila, like a couple days later, it happens. I will say this. I love the NFL and XFL partnership for these two reasons, for these two innovative rules that the XFL put in place. So the point after touchdown, no more field goal attempts. There's 3 different options. None involve a kicker. Offense plays from the 2. An offensive play from the 2 is worth 1 point. A play from the 5-yard line is worth 2 points. And a play from the 10-yard line is worth 3 points if you want to be really aggressive. And I love their overtime rules. Each team gets possessions. They're going to get possessions. It consists of 5 rounds. No coin toss, and it's a shootout. Each offense gets up to 5 one-play possessions. Teams get 2 points for each successful conversion, and they alternate possessions until one team is eliminated, and they start at the 5-yard line. If it's tied after 5 possessions, then it's sudden death.
The overtime rule just seems so arcadey. Like, that's not football. That's not where you play for the first 60 minutes. It's cool. Like, it's fun to watch. I'm sure like if a playoff game gets decided by that, I'll be sick.
That seems fair.
I think it seems fair.
But
No, fair as in what he's saying.
Okay.
It's completely different to every other football game you've ever done. You know, like
No, I'm with you.
I agree with that, but what is overtime supposed to be?
An
like
extra,
to end the game quick.
Just think about how
the NFL
basketball
wants
is.
the NFL wants the game to be over as soon as possible.
Yeah, but like, what is fair for both teams? I think this is a fair thing for both teams.
I have no problem with the overtime rule.
Why is playing the quarter not the fair thing?
The full quarter?
Yeah, why is that
Because the
not
NFL
fair
doesn't
thing?
want to play 75 minutes of football. 60 is
Then
enough.
don't-
60
then
gets
don't
enough
do,
injuries.
Then don't do the 15. Run a set an 8-minute quarter.
But then you could have a team who just kills the 8 minutes.
And if they do that, that's credit to them.
But what's the difference between scoring a touchdown on your first drive? Credit to them.
If you the defense let a offense stay on the field for 8 minutes, you deserve to lose.
If you let them score a touchdown,
Oh no, a touchdown fair.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Fair.
Okay, so they also have this. They have a double forward pass. So you can do 2 forward passes. But there's a catch. In order to do the double forward pass, like, it can't pass the line of scrimmage. You
yeah,
know?
that makes
So,
sense.
you know, and because sometimes when there's a gadget play, in order for it to be legal, you have to throw it behind you. So this way, like, you can throw it in front as long as it's not over the line of scrimmage.
So you could do like a touch pass and then throw it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. That's also an innovative rule that they have as well.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
As long as it's behind the line of scrimmage, that could be cool.
I also don't know. I don't mind getting rid of the extra point, doing it from the 2. I don't love the 3-point conversion.
the 3-point sounded goofy.
That feels like a
From
4
the 10.
That feels like a 4-point shot in the NBA. Just
From
like,
the 10-yard line, though, that's crazy.
but that just changes the game. OD.
I just feel like they shouldn't, like, they're trying to get rid of kickers. I don't think they should get rid of kickers.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't. I absolutely am 100% against that.
Yeah.
Kickers have had so much to do with the history of NFL. Tom Brady
sure.
wouldn't be Tom Brady if he wasn't with Adam Vinatieri.
What I like the most about this partnership is that they're going to develop prospective referees. I think the NFL referees have been bad for a while now, for as long as I've been watching, and I understand they have a job to do. Something interesting I didn't know. Did you know that referees aren't full-time
I know.
NFL employees?
It's ridiculous.
They have other jobs on top of being referees.
The NFL multi-billion-dollar industry can't even pay for the refs.
Yeah, I don't understand how you expect the product to get better
So
in terms
Ed
of
Hockley isn't a
officiating
millionaire?
without it.
No.
That's nuts.
I mean, he's been in the NFL. I'm sure they get paid decent, but I feel like people are going to complain about referees.
Gene
Even if
Steratore-
you're amazing, you're going to, like, people are going to complain.
Gene Steratore
But
isn't a
refs are pretty
millionaire?
bad though.
I
For
know,
the NFL.
but even like the Hotchleys and the guys who've been around forever still get shit on.
I get it, but I think as a whole, the referees need
They can
need
improve.
upgraded.
I just don't think no one's gonna be satisfied with the refs.
Yeah, because they're human, they're gonna make mistakes. I understand that, but I think the XFL is a good way for referees to develop in that league.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
then come into the NFL. But you're right. Pay these guys a full-time
Yeah,
salary.
come on.
Like it's a tough job. Take care of these guys. You make so much money. A Super Bowl ad costs like tens of
I was
millions.
gonna say you could pay for most of their salaries with like 5 Super Bowl ads. You could probably play
Not
for
even.
all
You
of
can
them.
pay for their salaries with one Super Bowl ad.